this presentation on pain physiology part 1. Definition of pain according to the IASP, that is International Association for Study of Pain. So you will find that according to IASP, the definition is it is an unpleasant sensory and emotional experience which is associated with actual or potential tissue damage or described in terms of such damage. So two things is very clear. It is an unpleasant and emotional experience. Both dual modality is there. Second, that it might be actual damage or potential tissue damage. So there is a, whenever these two things are there, it is termed as pain, unpleasant sensory and emotional experience. So pain is the most common symptom. It is a most common symptom and it is a protective mechanism of our body. It's the most common symptom, first thing, and it is protective. Why it is protective mechanism? Because after detecting, localizing and identifying the tissue damage process, it protects our body. Next slide. The pain sensation. Pain, as we know, is a less critical somatic sensation. It results of tissue damage. It produces protective mechanism so that withdrawal and avoidance response initiated. It is non-adaptive nature of pain receptor. Non-adaptive nature of pain receptors. It is very important. Most painful stimulus agent is bradykinin. Commonest cause of pain is inflammation, ischemia, and spasm. Next, two important points, that is a dual pathway to transmit the pain, means there is a two pathways for acute pain as well as for chronic pain. Second point, duality of pain sensation, because whenever there is a pain, there is a pain sensation, there is a emotional disturbances also associated. Next slide. Now we must know about the primary sensory afferent. Here the free nerve endings, this one, the sensation carried by the afferent nerve. Afferent is the branch of, it's a peripheral branch of cyton. This cyton is situated in dorsal root ganglion and the peripheral branch goes to the spinal cord. So the cyton is situated, of this sensory afferent is situated in the dorsal root ganglion. There is a short projection which divide into two. One is peripheral and central is, one other is central. So this is a very good example of pseudo unipolar neuron. Now the next point, that the most of the fibers, A delta and the C afferent fibers, which carries the pain sensation, respond maximally to painful stimuli. And whenever they carry, these two fibers carry the sensations, then they produce subjective experience of pain with electrical stimulation. So these define them as primary nociceptors, pain receptors. So the pain receptors are nothing but the endings of the A delta and the C afferent fibers, like this. So the nociceptors are here, the free nerve endings and A delta fibers. So the terminals of these are known as nociceptors or pain receptors. Why these nerve endings they get activated? Whenever there is an injury, means the tissue is injured, release of potassium ion directly, and they do sensitization of nociceptors. So whenever there is a tissue injured, potassium ion is released from the nerve terminal and it sensitizes the nociceptors. Second thing, whenever there is injured tissue, it releases bradykinin and substance P. Third point, histamine is released from mast cells, serotonin from platelets, prostaglandins from cell membrane. So all these means potassium, substance P, bradykinin, histamine, serotonin, prostaglandins, all contributing to the inflammatory response. So whenever these substances are present in the plasma or extracellular fluid, you will find there is inflammation process. Now, mechanism how these inflammatory agents release whenever there is a tissue damage, then the potassium ion and bradykinin, substance P, they are released. Bradykinin and substances P, they are released. These three things. Then from the mast cells, histamine is released, and from the cell membrane, prostaglandins are released. Platelet damaged platelet, they releases 5-HT. So all are accumulated here. Then what they do, sensitize the free nerve endings, and the sensation impulses travel to the sensory afferent neuron, cytone of the sensory afferent neuron. This is the central projection of the cytone. It releases or relate to the dorsal column neurons. So enter into the spinal cord through the dorsal column. As soon as it enters here, it divides into two branches. For the pain sensation, this divides into two branches, one for the acute pain and the second for chronic pain. Next point, inflammatory agents, as you know, they activate or sensitize the nociceptors. But some are agents, they act by releasing another agents. For example, bradykinin. They activate both nerve endings, means A delta as well as C fibers, because they release the prostaglandins. So prostaglandins, once they release from the nerve endings, activate, and prostaglandin E2 release from the damaged cells, it produces hyperalgesias. And this is the reason why non-steroid anti-inflammatory drugs, NSAID, is effective in alleviate pain or to relieve the pain, because it inhibits the release of prostaglandin. Next slide. After activation of sensory nerve pathway, after activation of the C fibers, the chronic pain signals goes to the dorsal column, layer 2 and 3, substantia gelatinosa of the Rolando nuclei. From here, that it goes to the fifth layer of Rex laminae, fifth layer, through the interneuron. So the C fibers, they relate to the fifth laminae, and after that the second order neuron arises, which crosses to the other side and ascend as lateral spinothalamic tract. While A delta fibers, which is thin thin myelinated fibers, they relay in the lamina marginalis, laminae 1, and then immediately crosses over to the opposite side and ascend as spinothalamic tract. So it is important to know that the C fibers are unmyelinated, A delta fibers are myelinated. Velocity in the C fiber is less because their synapse takes place. One more synapse is here, and it is thin in diameter, while the A delta, the velocity is better and immediately transmit to the second order neuron. Next slide. When the nociceptive stimuli like the thermal, chemical, mechanical, when they stimulate the receptors here known as nociceptors, free nerve endings, then the first order neuron arises and they relay in the dorsal column of the spinal cord. This is from here the second order neuron arises, which ascends upward as lateral spinothalamic tract. During its course, it accompanied with somatic medial lemniscus, which carry the same sensations from the opposite faces and head, face and head. Now this combination, lateral spinothalamic tract, after association with the somatic medial lemniscus, relay to the VBL of thalamus. Another destination is intralaminar nucleus group of the thalamus. From the thalamus, third order neuron arises. So termination of the second order neuron and termination of the third order neuron is different in both conditions. So third order neuron, if it arises from the BBL of thalamus, then it terminates in somatosensory cortex. If the third order neuron arises from intralaminar nuclei of thalamus, then it terminates in cingulate gyrus, limbic cortex, hypothalamus, prefrontal cortex. So we will study that only 1/4 to 1/10 of the second order neuron relate to the BPL of the thalamus, which carries the acute sensations of the pain. Rest, they relay into the reticular nuclei of the medulla, pons and midbrain, and then they terminate to intralaminar nuclei of the thalamus. So these two areas, reticular nuclei, mainly, they are the principal arousal system, and they differ. So the pain sensations differ from other sensations as to make aware that something is wrong. And for the perception of the quality of the pain discrimination occur at the level of somatosensory cortex. So the somatosensory cortex play important role during pain discrimination. So there are two types of the areas or pain areas. Number one is acute and second is the chronic. Yellow depict the chronic pain, this one, and it relates to the reticular formation, periaqueductal. It also fibers reaches to hypothalamus, non-specific areas or nuclei of the thalamus, then into the prefrontal cortex, hypothalamus, and diffused area of the cortex. While the acute one they ascend upward and they relay into the VPL nuclei of the thalamus, then area somatosensory cortex area primary 312. So there are two types of the tract or pathway is found in the pain sensation. One is the paleo-spinothalamic pathway, that is old one, responsible for chronic. Do not involve the too much involvement of somatosensory cortex. While the new spinothalamic pathway is a for acute sharp pain and involvement of somatosensory cortex for the pain discrimination. So their pain sensation, they are transmitted by paleo-spinothalamic pathway or new spinothalamic pathway. In another diagram to show you to understand that this is the pain tract carrying the both sensations, fast and the chronic, because the lateral spinothalamic tract is in lateral spinothalamic tract, acute and chronic pain fibers, they accompany each other. They ascend upward, and chronic one, they relay to the reticular formation, while the fast pain, they VPL complex of the thalamus and they ascend upward. But it reaches, chronic fibers reaches to the intralaminar nuclei, which is responsible for arousal system. So we will discuss the difference between neo-spinothalamic pathway and paleo-spinothalamic pathway. Paleo means chronic and neo means acute. So the type of the pain which is felt is the fast pain. Here is the slow pain. Fast pain by the neo-spinothalamic pathway. Another terminology is sharp pain, electric pain, pricking pain, and it is physiological. Here it is slow pain, aching pain, squeezing pain, throbbing pain, and burning pain. It is another terminology you must remember is a pathological or inflammatory or chronic or neuropathy. So whatever these words is self-explanatory and will explain you the terminologies, characteristics of the pain, type of the pain. It is transmitted by the fibers, A delta fibers, while paleo is transmitted by, chronic pain is transmitted by C fibers. It is unmyelinated and it is myelinated. Velocity, of course, for the fast conduction, it is 6 to 30 meter per second. Here it is slow conduction and the speed is, velocity is 0.5 to 2 meter per second. Localization. It can localize, or you can say spatial localization, well, precise and sharp. Well precise than chronic one. Here it is not very much precise and it is of dull character. First order neuron relay in the rex lamina 1, lamina marginalis, while the chronic fibers or slow fibers, they relay in lamina 2 and 3rd, that is substantia gelatinosa of Rolando. Then from here it will synapse to the layer 5th and then crosses to the other side. So the fiber first order neuron, after the relay, second order neuron immediately crosses to the opposite side. Here the second order neuron either ascend or descend for 2 segments, then crosses to the other side. Terminate. It mainly terminates into the ventrobasal nucleus of the thalamus. It terminates mainly in the reticular formation and then it goes to the intralaminar nuclei of thalamus. Pain felt, these differences in this slide also continued between the neo-spinothalamic and paleo-spinothalamic tract. So the type of the stimuli by which can elicit or activate the A delta fibers are thermal and mechanical. Here all three types of the stimuli, that is thermal, mechanical and chemical, can stimulate C fibers. So pain felt mainly at skin level, felt both deeper as well as superficial. It is associated with autonomic nervous system, that is increase in heart rate and BP. Here you will find sweating, decrease in blood pressure associated with nausea. It is sensitive for mechanical and electrical. It is more sensitive. C fibers are of chronic pain or slow pain is more sensitive for local anesthetic agents, and it is of more radiate or referred type pain. Another difference, whether it is a good or bad pain. Acute pain considered as better pain as recedes well after healing. Just for example, post-surgery cut. But bad pain, chronic pain considered as bad pain, non-responding and persist long. After PET and functional MRI study shows increased metabolism in primary somatosensory cortex. Here, increased metabolism is found in prefrontal cortex, limbic system, insular region or the limbic system. Next slide. Now in this diagram, you can revise the path. Now here the free nerve endings. These are the nociceptors, you can say. When activated, they send impulses to the dorsal column nuclei through C fibers or A delta fibers. C fibers, they through the interneuron, they relay in the fifth layer nuclei. After that, they crosses over through the anterior curvature and then they ascend as lateral spinothalamic tract, crosses and then ascend, no doubt, and relay to the contralateral site. So you will find the C fibers, A delta fibers, and it relates to the contralateral somatosensory cortex. On the way, it relay into the ventrobasal and intralaminar nuclei of the thalamus. If it relay in the ventrobasal area, then third neuron or the neuron ends in or terminates into somatosensory cortex primary area number 1. But if the destination of the second neuron is intralaminar nuclei of the thalamus, then they terminate into striatum, cingulate gyrus, prefrontal cortex and hypothalamus. The ventrolateral spinothalamic pathway. This pathway does not only carry the pain sensation, it also carries the temperature sensation. So sensation which are carried by the ventrolateral spinothalamic pathway is pain sensation as well as temperature modality. So here we will say temperature and the pain modality are transferred by the one group, that is called ventrolateral spinothalamic pathway. Other modality also carried here, but we are concerned mainly with the pain and temperature. As do not require highly discrete localization of the signal source. So the fine gradation of the intensity cannot be discriminated by this. Only small fraction of the pain signals project directly to the ventrobasal complex of the thalamus, and most of the signals terminate into the reticular nuclei of the brainstem, and from here to the interlaminar nuclei of the thalamus for further processing. So there are two pathways: acute pain pathway or neospinothalamic pathway, carried by A delta, lamina 1, relay in lamina 1 of the dorsal horn, and then second order neuron activated. They cross immediately to the opposite side, ascend upward, and passing to the brain in the anterolateral columns. When only pain receptor, this point is very important, when only pain receptors are stimulated, without the simultaneous stimulation of tactile receptors, even fast pain poorly localized, with the accuracy error within 10 centimeter. So if we stimulate only the pain receptor, no stimulation of tactile receptors simultaneously, then what will happen? Error is within 10 centimeter. Yet the tactile receptors that excite the dorsal column are also simultaneously stimulated. Localization can be nearly exact. So these are the points which we must remember, that if the tactile receptors are also stimulated along with the pain receptors, then localization is nearly exact. Second thing we noticed in research, that if we lost the somatosensory cortex or removed, it has little effect on one's perception of the pain sensation, but moderate effect on the perception of temperature. Means temperature sensation will be abolished a moderate level than the pain sensation. So therefore, the lower brain stem, thalamus, other associated basal region of the brain are believed to play dominant roles in the discrimination of these sensibilities. So chronic pain, you can say, or slow pain phylogenetically appeared very early in the development of animals. Now the next thing we must know, that the corticofugal signals which are coming from the somatosensory cortex or cortical areas back to the thalamus, that is known as corticofugal signal sensory control. It is almost entirely inhibitory. First thing you must know that it is almost entirely inhibitory. So whatever the sensations coming back to the thalamus is almost entirely inhibitory. So this action is useful these signals are useful in two ways. One, it decreases lateral spread, so degree of sharpness in the signal pattern is increased. So spatial discrimination is better. It decreases lateral spread to increase the sharpness in the signal pattern. Second, the operating in the range of sensitivity. It keeps the sensory system operating in the range of sensitivity. Not very low, not very high. So it maintains up to a range of sensitivity to be perceived. Next point, in the next slide here, there's a referred pain. Only clinical sign is referred pain in many visceral ailments. Referred pain is the only clinical sign in many visceral ailments, diseases. Why it is so? Branches of the visceral pain fibers are shown to synapse in the spinal cord on the same second order neuron that receives pain signals from the skin. So in the diagram, you imagine yourself that there is one afferent which are coming from the skin and another coming is from the viscera, but they synapse in the same level in the spinal cord with the second order neuron. The first order neuron fibers of skin as well as of viscera, they synapse to the second order neuron. So it means that visceral pain fibers are stimulated whenever there is a stimulation of visceral pain fibers. Pain signals from the viscera are conducted through at least some of the same neuron that conduct pain signals from the skin. Means whenever there is a pain in the viscera, there is a pain in the skin also. But these pain fibers transmitted mainly to the skin area, and they feel that a person has the feeling that sensations originate in the skin, not from the viscera. Now why it is? It is called convergence projection hypothesis. Convergence projection hypothesis for referred pain. Convergence of the skin dermatome and embryologically developed viscera. Afferent from the viscera, which is developed embryologically from the same dermatome as the superficial one, there is a convergence of the neuron. So the visceral pain referred to the surface of the body, dermatome, originated in the embryo, not necessary where the visceral organs now lies. So during the development, they are different, visceral organ and the surface of the body. But embryologically, they originate from the same dermatome. So the visceral afferent and afferent from the somatic structure converge on the same projection neuron in the dorsal column cells, and this hypothesis is known as convergence projection hypothesis for referred pain.